So this is the reference image that I'm going to be working on, and for this video I'm just going to be focusing on the centerpiece over here, that is the bowl and the massive huge marbles that are like sitting inside it. Anyway, this is my final render, and if you're interested in my thought process and how I got to this, then keep watching. I didn't do much cutting, I only got out like the boring parts and sped up some of the silent bits. Anyway, have fun. Alright, so let's quickly take a look at this. I want to make this material, whatever is being used over here, and I want it to be as close to this as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up this color by default, like, yeah, to start with, and mess with the other settings first. The roughness does seem like a thing. The light's coming, well, mostly in this image, from the right side. I'm assuming there's a window here, and I have set up my scene in the same way. This is just an emission thing. It's gonna have a curtain in front of it anyway, so that's not really a problem. But yeah, I have my scene set up in a similar way. So let's just get back into this. Alright, so let's take a look at the roughness, and so 0.2 looks fine. Next up, what I want to do is I want to create this texture, so like this wooden texture sort of thing that's happening over here. I think it's really common with leather as well. So how do we go about doing that? Well, let's take a look at the Voronoi texture, and the Voronoi looks like this, right? If I scale it up to say 10, 20, alright, 50, and then I add in the mapping nodes. Can I use the UV map? Oh, it doesn't really have a UV map. We'll fix the UV later, it's fine. For now, we can just work on this. Alright, 20. What is going on? Like, is it actually doing that? Okay, so what if I do 20? Does that look decent enough? It does look decent enough to me. Is the shading smooth on this? It is, but I did the bevel over here, so that's why it's like this. But for now, we're just focusing on the shader, so it's fine. Alright, so next up, I want to pass this through a color ramp. And what that's going to do is, it's going to give me more control over the sharpness of everything. And it's often a good idea to pass this through another color ramp before you change the colors. So I'm just going to change the colors over here in this one. So for this one, I want it to be, say, this bit. Just picking up random colors for now, like there's actually nothing special with this. Okay, this is too, well, dim. Alright, not happy at all with that. Yeah, definitely not happy with this. So there's something else going on over here, because it is the same material on the inside and the outside, right? Like, it has to be. It's just that the light is causing this effect, because you see over here there's no light, so it's more blue. Now obviously if I had a higher resolution picture, this would be a lot easier, but what that tells me is I need to focus more on, well, the bump nodes and the normal maps and less on the actual color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect that for now, just get rid of this as well, add in a bump node, connect the bump to normal and the color to the height, and that gives me this effect. And it already looks a lot decent, like a lot better. It sort of actually looks fine as well. Now there is a problem with this where, well, the underside of the bowl over here looks relatively smooth, while with this one it doesn't. So this is sort of like a design choice, and I kind of feel like, yes, I should probably separate the two materials. So I'm just going to quickly get into edit mode, right click, well, not right click, go back over here so I can do it easier. Just select and select similar by area. That should basically select all of these across, and go into materials, add another material. Let's just call it bowl base and assign that. Let's just rename that to bowl inner, and go back into my shading thingy And now we have another issue where, well, the base, because I kind of solidified it. Is that what's going on? Oh, no, it's not. I can just select that and apply the inner to that. Alright, never mind. I thought I solidified it, but I kind of didn't. Anyway, the bold base now can be changed to that same color. So let's just quickly copy this and just paste it. Never mind, we're not gonna be able to paste it here. Interesting. So the bold base over here is gonna be this bit. And already we can already see some other issues over here. So I'm just going to quickly change that as well, where I'm gonna use this bit. Is there anything else? Actually, might as well just select all of it. Oh, I do not hold shift for that. That is like really inconsistent, by the way. Let me see how this works now. All right, it actually looks a lot better now. And yeah, even this matches. Sort of. Sort of. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Again, I'll do the UV later, so that's not really a problem. But for now, let's try to go back to the inner and make this better. What happens if I change the roughness? Does the roughness actually change? Yes, it does. So if I do a minimum roughness, it will cause the white effect. But a minimum roughness seems way unrealistic, so I'm not gonna. Instead, it's just gonna be around 0.3 to 0.5. The default value of 0.5 also looks decent enough, so I'm gonna stick with that. All right. Now, something else that needs to be done is, let's just fine-tune this. Too much, too little. That looks fine. Now, do I want to have two different colors for this? Kind of, let's just see how it looks, because that's how you do most of this stuff, right? You kind of just check how things look, and if it looks decent enough, then it looks decent enough. You can't really, argue with that. And I'm gonna argue that it does without this, or with this. Yeah, the slight tint of the raised parts, like it actually helps. Alright, so now we need to match the color, and that is where we kind of get into an issue, because we don't know which color to pick. I'm going to start with my favorite one, which is the 11 PBCC. And no, that is way too blue and green. And kind of I'm struggling with this. So let me just try to pick up this one. It's the lighting, like, is it actually the lighting? Let me add in a light. Yes, I believe it actually might be the light. So I think I need to fix the lighting just a little bit, but for now I am going to just add this over here and give it, say, a power of 500 and see if that helps. Yes, that helps a lot. So just move it here, scale it up. Okay, I have to scale it up from here. There we go. Okay, so now the normal bump map and stuff, like, it is nice, but it is a bit too intense. So I'm just gonna turn that down. If you think that doesn't make a difference, I'm gonna zoom in and you can see. So this is like a 0.1 and this is the maximum 1. It actually makes a lot of difference. And generally speaking, you don't really want it to be at a strength of 1 anyway, so this is fine. Alright, next up, do I want the base to have some sort of normal map as well on it? No, actually not. This looks fine. Alright, Now we can focus on the balls, and that is where things get interesting because these already have UV maps attached to them. I'm just gonna quickly make sure that they do. Yes, they do. They have UV maps attached to them. And yeah, the UV maps are gonna cause a problem like up here along the edges, but I think we can deal with that. Let's just quickly go back to the shader editors. There we go. Just gonna add in a material over here to making sure they're not all linked. Okay, select, say, this color. All right. Now, am I gonna do the Voronoi texture over here as well? Yes, let's start up with that. Voronoi texture links up to this one, but this time I want a noise texture that's linking to the vectors for the Voronoi, and that will give me, well, this look. And I kind of like this look. Anyway, let's add in a color ramp to this as well. I'm not trying to like exactly copy this. I just want something that looks like it. So while things like that do help, I would be perfectly happy with something that doesn't look like it at all. Now let's just add in another one of this. Pick up this color. That's why I disconnected that, because I kind of want to pick this color up. Got super lucky with that color. And this one just needs to be a lighter tone of that. Make it more lighter. Alright, that's better. Now we need to figure out, well, the textures. So I'm just gonna pump up the detail over here because why not? And let's see what happens with the scale for this. Alright, so that can be like the base texture. Now I wanna pump this, like plug this in just in case, and use the UV map. Actually, does that make it look bad along the top? Yes, it does. So I'm gonna stick with the generated. Alright, so next up, I do want like these edges and lines on top of it as well. And I believe you can do that with a wave texture, right? So this is a wave texture, and what does that do? Let's just plug that in to say this. So that does this bit. And if I plug the same map to this as well, I can basically, well, use it. Distortion, do I want any distortion on it? A little bit doesn't hurt. Details, yeah, sure. Detail scale. Oh no, no, that needs to stay 1. Bands or rings? Actually, I think it doesn't really matter at this scale. Alright, sine or saw. Ooh, which one do I want? Actually, no, sine is fine. Plug this into a color ramp to just make it smaller. No, not more wide. And make it like, not constant, ease. Ease looks fine. Now I need to figure out a way to combine both of these. And the easiest one is by using the math node, because you can connect that, and if you clamp the values, then it'll be limited between 0 and 1, so 0 and 1. Something else that can be done here, it looks too flat, honestly. Does it? Yeah, like if you can zoom in and it's still like this high detailed, it does look really flat. So can we use this as a bump map? Or is that gonna mess up everything? Oh, this looks decent, but let's just decrease the strength to say half. Alright, that looks good enough. Looks something like interesting. It's definitely interesting. Invert this. Yeah, inverted it looks even better because it looks like it's been dig in. This is the actual shape while that is the, well, yeah. Right, so that looks decent enough. Now I just need to duplicate it. Well, not duplicate it, but give the same texture to this one. Actually, let's call it ball 1. And let's just give all of these a subsurface division of 2 and select ball 1 and make it, well, duplicate. Now this thing, I kind of do want all of these to have their origins on the geometry. I can easily just rotate them wherever I want, so it doesn't look like I've copy pasted them. And then just change the colors, right? Just these 2 colors. So this is gonna be red, so I'm gonna make it like that. And the secondary color can just be a lighter shade of red. Well, lighter, more white, less red. All right. Now something else that I want to change between the 2 of them is the bands, and obviously the noise texture, the war noise textures as well, like all of the textures actually. So I do want them to not be exactly the same is what I'm trying to say. What happens if I change this to cells? That looks decent. All right. Actually, I might just change this to cells as well. For scale. Alright, so what I did was I made them metallic, and honestly this looks a lot better, but my whole plan was just to sort of get something similar to this. Okay, I'm not going to change the materials or anything. I am going to turn down the roughness though. What about 0 roughness? 0.1 should be fine, 0.1 over here as well because they're both the same shape. Next up, I want this one to basically just have that, duplicate it, and make this one black. That is not black. Oh, I made the wrong side black. My bad. So make this black, and let's make this side darker as well. 0.1 roughness looks decent enough. And finally this one, and just do the same thing over here as well, but this time I'm gonna have to make a lot more changes. Primarily because of, well, just the different orientations and everything. Do I want to match the orientations as well? I want to match them just slightly. That's fine. I think that's fine. Yeah. Alright, so this one needs to have thinner lines, and the easiest way to do that would just basically be... Oh. Okay, that's the wrong direction. Also the wrong direction. That's the right direction. Yeah, the easiest way to basically change the lines and everything is using the mapping texture nodes. And you can easily just do that with all of them. Okay, so but now I'm having a problem where it's kind of blending in with the background, so I kind of need to move it. There you go. Do I want to do the table as well? I don't think I do, but I'm gonna do something super simple, which I believe there is a wood one. There isn't. Oh, you can use the wave texture with saw going into a color ramp with the colors basically taken from the wood, something like this. And well, you kind of need to have variation, not scale, distortion. Are you sure? Oh, vector. And plug that into... There you go. There we go. Have that. Are you tiny? Nope. Intensity looks good enough. Yeah, all of it looks good enough. Let's just quickly change the scale to see what we can do. I'm gonna change, well, not change, I'm gonna plug it into another color ramp. Just sort of control everything. More whites, right? Nope, not more white. Less white. And this color can just be the dark bit. Now it has a clear coat on it, and the roughness is, well, lower because it's basically been polished. Now this is not perfect, and this is not the actual final texture that I'm going to be using, but it is a lot closer to what I want. What if I use the sine waves? No, pans. Ah, more distortion, more scale, and just needs better colors, I believe. Yeah, it definitely just needs better colors. Something like that. And everything else, I believe, is just do not make it metallic. Everything else, I believe, is just fine. It's just the lighting that's causing the difference. Anyway, that's everything for this video. I just wanted to make these balls and thingy-majiggies. So yeah, thanks for watching and goodbye.